We'll start off with the Peds. There's so much going on online, and it's pissing me off, to be quite frank. I think there's a lot of rumors that are being started that I don't particularly think are true. So let's just clear the air. Give me the soapbox for a
Educate the
second.
people, Harry. Tell them
All
how
right.
it is.
So this is the problem. This team doesn't know what direction it wants to go. And for anyone blaming Kyle Dubas for what's going on, I cannot blame him. And the reason is because he is being given an impossible task. He is being asked to retool or stockpile picks or whatever term you want to use to get younger. But then on the other hand, the fucking owner of Fenway Sports Group that Turk has ranted about all the time, John W. Henry, who looks exactly like his name sounds, some old salt and pepper British guy, told told Dubas we are extending Sid and we are gonna try to win. So how do you try to win while also retool? Like it just doesn't match, right? And then today the big news comes over. I think it was like Taylor Haas, is that her name? I can't remember. She
Yeah.
broke in one of her articles that everyone is available for trade besides 87. And that spread like wildfire. And everyone's like, oh my God, Gino's not going to retire a Penguin. The big three's getting broken up. Carlson sucks. I'm just going to say, and I verified this just now, so I know this is true. All those guys have full no move clauses. So if they don't want to go, they're not going. And if they do want to go, we're going to get shafted because they're going to pick where they're going to want to go, and we'll have no leverage in the trade. So
No,
we're
you're going to have to
stuck.
eat like 75% of that contract. It's not
We
going to
are
be
Yeah,
half.
it's a
It's going to,
bad
yeah.
situation.
we are incredibly stuck.
I will, I do want to give Penguins fans, that listen to this a little peace of mind here because I know everyone went a little bit crazy when Biz tweets out that Crosby should go to the Avs. Let's just kill that now. We know Sidney Crosby is never leaving the Pittsburgh Penguins. Also, Kyle Dubas is not going to be the guy who fucked up the Toronto Maple Leafs and then traded Sidney Crosby. Like he
Yeah.
would just
Okay,
be
yeah. Well,
the
when you put it
most
like that,
hated man in the hockey world. Like I think the
Yeah.
entire nation of Canada would band together to kill that man. Like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. So, could one of the other core pieces go? It's certainly not going to be Malkin. I will firmly die on that. He will retire black and gold. The two defensemen who look like they have something up their ass to start the year that drive me and my father crazy. They should be shipped. I don't care. I'm done. Here's one of the last things that I will say about this. Rustin Raquel, I think they'll probably get traded. We just mentioned Lars Eller got traded. I think Pettersson's going to get traded. I do think this is the time where you have to look in the mirror and just say, we are not a good team and we cannot make the playoffs with this roster. So you might as well just go for draft picks. I know that's not what Sid wanted. I don't even know if that's what they're going to do just because of what John Henry, Mr. King of Britain, said to Sid, like, hey, I'm promising you we'll try and win. But for right now, that's my thoughts on this team. And they don't have a goalie. We I think I saw yesterday because they lost to the Stars 7-1. It was 6-0 after the first period. My phone blew up with 10 people texting me touchdown as if I'm not watching. Thanks. Appreciate you two included, I think, and fucking Mark. And I was like, all right, I get it. Like it's funny, haha.
uh,
Like that has never happened. I think Bob Grove tweeted this. That has never happened in the Crosby era. That was the
Yeah.
statistically the worst first period in the last 18 or 20 years of the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's
I
it's pathetic.
I waited until the fourth goal to text you, but oh my God, dude, you know how I said like 2 weeks ago that the worst goaltending performance I'd ever seen was Jari in the first period against the Buffalo Sabres earlier this year?
Blomqvist,
Yeah,
yeah.
scratch it,
yeah,
both of them,
yeah.
Blomqvist and Ned. Like, oh my
And
God.
you know what the shitty part is? After Friday, when we beat the Capitals, we haven't even talked about that because it
Right.
doesn't matter at this point. Like that's how bad they lost to the Stars. Is that I was so fired up. I was like, "What a win! We're coming back." Blomqvist had a bunch of great saves. We beat a team with a winning record. I'm gonna give it to Nick and Mac on Tuesday, and we got whipped so bad against Dallas that I can't even brag at this point. And I'm just like,
And
well,
Yeah.
like to the Penguins' credit a little bit, Dallas is a much better hockey team than they are, and a just complete
Yeah.
wagon right now. I mean, they can kill you in like 8 different ways, and they did. But the one thing that really stood out to me, other than Miro Heiskanen just going through the Penguins forwards like a hot knife through butter, was the 3-on-1 that the Penguins had that ultimately led to a Stars goal going the other way. So it's two forwards and Chris Letang, and Chris Letang goes, you know what? There's two forwards and me. I'm gonna be the one to like drive the net. And
Yeah.
just gets stuck behind the goal. And
That's
like
beer league shit right
it
there.
was just the most beer league like offensive defenseman movie. It's like, nope, I am the main character of this story. I'm going to the
He's
net.
he's looked horrible. He's looked
Uh,
horrible.
can I say something?
Yes.
Harry, John John William Henry II was born in Quincy, Illinois.
Okay. Well, he sounds British to me, so that's what I'm gonna call him.
All
He's
right.
that's the guy that's on the boat for like the Boston Tea Party where you're like, fuck that guy. Like
He
that's what that sounds like me.
he definitely looks British, and he definitely is salt and pepper, and he definitely is 75 years old. So I'll give you all of that. Uh anyway, I don't really have much else to add other than this has been hilarious and joyful for me. And
I have
that's
one last thing, and we'll talk about Washington next. The Penguins have 3 games between now and our next recording. They are against relatively weak opponents. We've got the Red Wings on T on T on that. We've got the Red Wings on TNT on Wednesday night. I believe Jari's going to start that game. We'll talk about that more in the Gambling segment. They got the Blue Jackets on Friday. That's on the road. And then they've got San Jose at home on the second half of that back-to-back at home on Saturday. They have to at least win 2 of these games. And if
I'd
they
say all
don't,
three.
they have to go 3-0,
I
buddy.
don't,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't think they will.
And
So I'm not even gonna.
you can't go to overtime against CBJ. Like
I
that
don't think
has
they're.
that
Or the Wings.
yeah.
I think CBJ's gonna beat us.
You can cough up a point to the Sharks if you need to, but yeah, the other two you got to win reg.
If they
So
don't win 2 of these 3, I think you have to fire Sullivan.
so that's what my
That's the
last
last thing we need
question
to
was
talk
going to be.
about.
So is are they not able to retool because he won't play young players, or are they also just not bringing in the right players? Because Spencer Carberry retooled the Washington Capitals, who were in a worse position, and got them to be a better hockey team. And I know that the
Well,
Caps
yeah.
like had a terrible season, got a great draft pick, and were able to, be fortunate enough to draft Ryan Leonard as low as he was in that draft. He probably would have been significantly higher in any other one. But in this case, are you looking at fire Sullivan first or trade someone else first?
No, I'm in fire Sullivan mode. I
Okay.
I think the body language of this team, specifically the leader, captain 87,
Hmm.
they look depressed. Like they don't look like they're having fun. It's horrible to watch, man.
Do you agree with me though that I can so see them losing like two of these next three, firing him before Thanksgiving, and this season totally works out just fine for you guys.
Yes, 100%.
I
I mean, it obviously depends who they hire, but
or
Right.
who they trade too. Like if they get rid of Raquel or Rust, like it's hard for me to say that we'll be better because we don't have anyone left. It's funny though, because Carberry right now reminds me so much of when Sullivan took over in that he grew up with the minor league guys. He knows Protus, he knows McMichael, he knows whatever other guys who come up through Hershey with him. And because they know and trust him, that's why they're excelling. It's exactly like when Sullivan came up. They had Sherry come up, they had Russ come up, they had all these young guys come up at the same time who excelled. And that's what the Caps are having right now. And they're really fucking good. Like, that's what you need. But um, yeah, I hate being a Penguins fan right now, man.